Hello, hi, I'm Mindy Riesenberg. I am the Chief Communications Officer at Grand Canyon Conservancy, and I'm so pleased to be presenting to you about who Grand Canyon Conservancy is, how we care for the canyon, and how we are standing for its future. Our mission and our impact, our mission is to inspire generations of park champions to cherish and support the natural and cultural wonder of Grand Canyon. And as the official nonprofit partner of the park, we do two big things. We help provide funding for priority programs and projects in the park, and we operate programs that support the visitor experience inside the park. And as all of you know, the park is facing some challenges right now, and that's where Grand Canyon Conservancy comes in, working alongside park leadership to help keep programs and conservation efforts that are of the utmost importance on track. And we are the park's strongest advocate. We work hand in hand with the National Park Service to find real solutions, and we're committed to ensuring that every visitor continues to have an experience that only Grand Canyon can provide. We support the park through investing in critical needs, so funding essential conservation projects and visitor services to protect the park's natural and cultural heritage. We advocate for Grand Canyon's future and ensure that its beauty and the accessibility of the park are preserved for all who seek inspiration at the park. And strengthening the Grand Canyon community, which at this time is really important. We want to support the dedicated rangers, NPS staff, and volunteers who make this park so special. And we can succeed at all of this when we grow our network of park champions, people who have a meaningful connection to the canyon and are invested in its preservation and stewardship. Each of you are a park champion, and we're grateful to have all of you supporting the park and helping to protect this cherished cultural and natural resource. In 2024, Grand Canyon Conservancy provided $4 million in aid to Grand Canyon National Park. Now, if you didn't know, only 25% of Grand Canyon National Park's budget is federally appropriated. So GCC plays a very important role in helping to move key programs and projects forward. So I want to recap some of the programs and projects that we helped to fund in 2024 to give you a sense of what we do to support the park. This is not advancing. Uh-oh. There we go. So elevating tribal voices. We had the We Are Grand Canyon film that some of you saw the draft of at the last River GTS last year. This was created jointly by the Intertribal Working Group, the park, and Grand Canyon Conservancy, and it was filmed and edited by Ryan Christensen of Bristlecone Media. This film welcomes visitors to Grand Canyon National Park from those who have called it home since time immemorial, the 11 Grand Canyon tribal communities. And in April, the park and GCC hosted a special VIP premiere event for the tribal members who were featured in the film and their families, culminating in the film's first ever screening. Visitors can now view this film at the South Rim Visitor Center at the top of the hour, and the film can also be viewed online. Grand Canyon Conservancy and the park received an award for Best Cultural and Historic Preservation in Arizona from the Arizona Office of Tourism for our work on Desert View on the Intertribal Cultural Heritage Site, as well as for this film. So we're very proud of that. The cultural demonstration program began at Grand Canyon National Park in 2014 with only 4 demonstrators. A decade later, the program has over 200 tribal members from the 11 tribal communities that call Grand Canyon home. And in July, the park hosted a 10th anniversary celebration at the Desert View Intertribal Cultural Heritage Site, where 17 different Indigenous artists shared their culture and their connection to the canyon. We also host the Native American Heritage Days that are hosted at the North Rim in August. And this past year, 26 tribal members representing the Hopi, Pueblo of Zuni, Diné, San Juan Southern Paiute Tribe, and the Kaibab Band of Paiute provided special programming and demonstrations. And then there were several tribal youth engagement trips this year with the Yavapai Apache Nation, the Navajo and Hopi students, and the Zuni Youth Enrichment Project, which brought kids from these tribes to the canyon for immersive experiences in their own cultures. We also fund the Preventive Search and Research Program, PSAR, which launched a very cool Hike Smart film this year to enhance hiking safety awareness among visitors. If you haven't seen that, you can find that on the Grand Canyon National Park website. We also host several virtual events every year for Grand Canyon Conservancy followers. And we hosted Megan Smith, who runs PSAR, to talk about its importance last year. So hundreds of people tuned in from across the country for that. And in 2024, this team completed 4,550 patrol hours and assisted 858 hikers, nearly double the number that they assisted in 2023. They contacted over 140,000 visitors on the trail, resulting in 30,442 preventive actions. This is safety on the trail in action. Dark Skies, the 34th annual Grand Canyon Star Party occurred in June on both North and South Rims. GCC helps to fund this. On the South Rim, there were over 50 telescopes set up each of the 8 nights, and there was over 9,000 visitors on the South Rim looking through telescopes and hearing lectures from astronomers. On the North Rim, 15 volunteer astronomers gave 8 special guest talks, and to cap it all off, at a special ceremony, Dark Sky International presented an award acknowledging that the park had made more than 90% of its exterior lights dark sky friendly. As the number of exterior lighting fixtures is unprecedented, it's over 5,000 lighting fixtures for a national park. This represents a huge milestone. We also do historic building preservation, and this year, the Kolb Studio roof got replaced. This building was built in 1905, as many of you know, and this roof was fallen apart. So it was replaced in November with certified hand-split, hand-sawn, and fire-treated cedar roofing shingles to ensure that it retained as much of the original character as possible. So we also have our science and resource impacts. The Parks Vegetation Program installed 3 new monarch butterfly habitats in 2024, bringing the total number of butterfly habitats to 5, helping the migratory species and supporting the broader ecological health of this region. In July, 24 volunteers joined the park staff and the Grand Canyon Conservancy Field Institute to conduct the annual butterfly count, which we do every year. And this year, they identified 39 species and observed 281 individual butterflies. Colorado River, in November, staff from all of the NPS work groups and Hualapai Cultural Resources participated in the Colorado River Management Plan River Mission to work on maintenance at the campsites, trails, and popular attraction sites along the river corridor. Experts from the Division of Science and Resource Management and the Trails Program led the field work. Locations included the South Canyon, Uncur Delta, Granite Camp, and Deer Creek. And we also helped to fund the Bison Program. And there was a North Rim bison transfer. We relocated 100 bison from the North Rim. They were all transferred to the Intertribal Buffalo Council. And that's the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe in South Dakota who received them in this past year. We also used a remote camera system that allowed park managers to monitor the pen and remotely close the gate when the bison entered the corral up at the North Rim. So we funded that camera system, and it helped them get a record high capture and transfer rate this year. Of course, Mission and Impact Trails. Bright Angel Point saw substantial improvements made in 2024, and it reopened to the public in November 2024. And then we also supported the trail maintenance crew with the tools and equipment that they needed this past year to repair weather-damaged trail sections. Education. Efforts to reach students at tribal and Title I schools in gateway communities within 2 to 4 hours of the park were really successful. Approximately a third of the students who visited Grand Canyon in 2024 were from Coconino County. There were more students from Navajo and Yavapai counties than the years prior. And the education program also served students from Apache and Mojave counties for the first time. We had 42 ranger-led field trips that were hosted at the South Rim, connecting over 1,200 kids to the canyon. And more than 75% of the schools that signed up for these field trips were from Title I schools. And GCC helped to provide bus transportation and assistance for all of these field trips. When it comes to science, we help to fund most of the projects that are happening, especially down on the river. LIDAR, light detection and ranging, we negotiated an agreement with the park and the U.S. Geological Survey to collect high-resolution airborne LIDAR data over all of the remaining unsurveyed areas of the park. This data will finally be collected in the summer of 2025 and should be available for analysis and applicable to a wide range of park resources in late 2025. Dye tracing, park hydrologists completed the first round of a dye trace study of the Kaibab Plateau aquifer. This was the most extensive dye trace study ever conducted in North America, and it's already providing critical insights into water flow pathways and vulnerabilities for spring environments beneath the plateau and the spring-dependent park drinking water supply. Excuse me. A second round of GCC supported dye trace is going to be underway this year. And then also paleontology, we supported paleontology research. And, this year, I believe the first Paleozoic vertebrate body fossils were ever discovered in the Wisco Formation. We also run programs. In addition to critical projects, we offer a variety of programs, including the Grand Canyon Conservancy Field Institute. The Field Institute, obviously is backpacking, hiking, tours, trips, but they're all educational and they're created in partnership with the park. That in an event that enhances the visitor experience through immersive courses that explore the cultural and natural history of the park. We do classes, guided tours, hikes, backpacking, service-based citizen trips, and we also contract with ASRA to do a river trip once a year. Our Artist and Astronomer in Residence program is really cool. We get 6 to 8 international artists and scientists in residency each year, helping to produce creative works and public programs. They do performances and workshops, interactive arts and science projects, astronomy presentations and tours. It's just a blast. So if you're ever up at the South Rim and can join in, and we've actually had a few of the programs at the North Rim too, please do. They're all free programs. Interpretive sales. We operate 6 retail stores in the park. We actually call this our interpretive sales program because it really is a program. It provides critical visitor engagement and services as well as sales. Our staff there at each of the stores swears in 75 to 100 junior rangers a day during peak season. And that is about 30,000 junior rangers a year that our Grand Canyon Conservancy staff swears in. And this staff also promotes Grand Canyon Conservancy membership to carry our message forward, let people know who we are, what we do. So they're not just salespeople. They really are that frontline engagement for Grand Canyon Conservancy, promoting awareness of who we are, what we do, how we fund projects in the park, what those projects are. In addition to the way that we support visitor engagement through the interpretive sales team, we also generate around $1.5 million in aid to the park for projects in science through this. And then the other big way that we raise money is through our fundraising efforts. Our overarching funding priorities right now are the same as you'll hear from Superintendent Ed Keeble: Indigenous Affairs, climate resiliency, historic preservation, and then ongoing park support. A lot of this is grants and foundations, but a lot of it also comes from individual donors like you. These are the park champions who have a connection to the canyon and want to help protect it. So that leads me to how all of you can make a difference to support Grand Canyon Conservancy in the park. We are working closely with Superintendent Keeble and the National Park Service staff to understand how GCC can help our partners in this super challenging time for parks. We're working on defining exactly how GCC can provide new or different support for the park. And we do know now that we have critical work ahead of us. So now more than ever, it is critical that park champions are doing all we can to support our public lands. And there's some really easy and actionable ways each of you can get involved. And you can also connect your clients and your customers to GCC to help amplify our work and our message. And some of them are here, raising your voice by contacting elected officials, giving your time, volunteering, and visiting the park responsibly, which we know you all do as river guides with the Leave No Trace principles and Hike Smart. And for some reason, my image doesn't come up here, but in your packets, you will find a QR code that will link you to a free Grand Canyon Conservancy membership for every one of you. We are gifting you this, so you can just scan the QR code and you will become a member of Grand Canyon Conservancy for the year. And on your trips, you can share with the customers about the work that we do and tell them when they're done to go visit a Grand Canyon Conservancy store location when their trip is over so they can become members too. So anyhow, reach out to us, stay engaged. Let us know if you have ideas about how we can partner with your organizations to help get more folks involved, especially now. And keep doing what you do. We all know intrinsically that when folks learn about and experience the canyon, they leave changed and inspired. And that is because of you. So thank you very much.